Hello everyone, and welcome to Straight Talk on Social Media. This is Ian Desher, Digital Marketing Specialist from Pivot, talking to you on a beautiful, sunny Friday in Portland. I am on vacation all of next week, so this webinar is one of my few remaining duties before I go. So I'm happy to be here with you all. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be talking today about what not to post, and I'll say a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But first of all, let's talk about some of the news from the last couple of weeks. First of all, Facebook has made a change to the way that it handles company pages that I actually think makes things look a little bit easier. So you can see when I come to the Pivot page now, it gives me this really helpful banner across the top that says you are posting, commenting, and liking as Pivot Group, and then I can change to Ian Desher if I want to. So it's making it very clear just exactly who you're going to be doing your posts as when you do these posts. So there's no confusion, so that you don't end up posting something as the company that you wanted to post as yourself, and vice versa. Which actually, as we'll see in the focus topic about what not to post, was something that that happened to another company in a big way. So anyway, Facebook has made that easier. And then they made something a little bit harder because that's what Facebook does. Facebook has, without telling anyone that they were doing it, they took everyone's email addresses that they had in their About section of your personal profile, and they took those away and they replaced them all with your Facebook.com address, which is really just your Facebook username at Facebook.com. And so they did this and didn't tell you that they were doing it. And you can change it, and you can go in and do it. And here's the screen that actually will show you where and how to change it. So it's within your account settings. You can go in and you can adjust this so that once again you are showing your personal email address if you want to, and hiding other things from the timeline. So just know that they made that change. Your customers may be asking you about it potentially. So just know that they made that change and that you can go in and reverse it if you want to. This is just one of those things that Facebook does. I read a really kind of funny editorial a couple weeks ago about how Facebook is the honey badger of social media. There's that famous viral video about the honey badger and how the honey badger don't care about anything. And so that was the point this article was making, was that Facebook don't care Facebook doesn't care about what changes it makes, because Facebook is just going to do whatever it wants to do, and it knows that we're all going to keep using it anyway. So anyway. There's also some news that Facebook is testing a want button. So in addition to the like button, they're testing possibly a want button. This would be something that obviously could help drive some commerce on Facebook. If you are visiting a company page and they're highlighting a product that you want, or even if you're just on a website somewhere and you see a product that you want and there's a want button there that you can click that then lets your friends and family and all your social media connections know that you want that particular product. It certainly could be a good thing for you who are listening on this call to use if indeed this comes to fruition. So we'll let you know if this is something that becomes widely available, if Facebook starts using it. But it's interesting, I think, that they are testing it out clearly in hopes that it is going to sort of drive some more revenue through Facebook. And YouTube, at a developers conference, the question was asked why YouTube doesn't do something about all of the internet trolls that are out there. If you don't know what an internet troll is, it's a person who goes on to various sites, and YouTube has a reputation for being one of the worst. And posts, all sorts of kind of thoughtless comments or rude comments or profane comments or whatever it is. And so YouTube is actually, they announced that they are actually working on a system to help improve their comment system to try to get rid of some of this trolling that goes on. So that's good news for us all if they figure out a good way to do it. And so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. So that's the news that I have today. Now I want to talk about the focus topic, straight talk on what not to post. This was actually, I have to give credit where credit's due here. I was asking Katie Goodell here in the office, if she had some ideas for future topics, and she suggested a webinar on what not to post. And that caught my attention because I hope it'll be a sort of fun way into talking about some best practices by looking at some various ways that people have messed up when they're doing their Facebook posting, and sometimes messed up in pretty serious ways. So let's take a look at what not to post. First of all, this is from a little over 2 years ago, some posts from Nestle, where what they're really trying to do here is control the conversation on their Facebook page. What had happened is that some people had gone on to the Nestle Facebook company page and were posting about Nestle's labor practices and I think growing practices in Africa, and somebody who was administering the Nestle page, and I've heard at least that it was a vice president, though I'm not sure about that. Anyway, somebody really started getting into it with people on the page. So you can see sort of the rude posts that they were offering here. Especially the one I think that is maybe most problematic here is, it's our page, we set the rules, it was ever thus. Clearly Nestle trying to take hold and control what people are saying on their page, and there was a huge public relations outcry about this. People and Nestle really took a big hit in terms of public opinion because of this. So a good example here of what not to post, things that are trying to control the conversation. Trying to make a profit in the wrong way. You can support Japan. This was after the tsunami in Japan. For every time you retweet this particular status, Bing will give $1 to Japan up to $100,000. The reason that this got, that Bing was sort of slapped on the wrist for this one was that they were trying to promote their own product and get people to retweet information about Bing by promising that in so doing people would be, doing something good for the Japan earthquake victims. So it was, clearly not a good strategy. It really made Bing look like they were really just kind of self-serving, entirely. So. And actually, I think this one came along with an apology later on. You can see here, we apologize if it was negatively perceived. We've donated $100,000, so they took a step back and realized that they had messed up. So that at least was a silver lining to that cloud. Moving on, the American Red Cross. Here's a fun tweet from the American Red Cross. Ryan found 2 more 4-bottle packs of Dogfish Head's Midas Touch beer. When we drink, we do it right. And then the hashtag getting slizzard. So this is, when I was talking earlier, when I was talking about the news, talking about how Facebook has now made it clear when you're logged into your company page, whether you're posting as the company or as yourself, would have been something that would have been helpful for this American Red Cross employee who maintains their Twitter page. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the story was that she thought she was logged in to her own Twitter account, but in fact she was logged in to the Red Cross's Twitter account, and she posted about going out to drink with her friends and getting slizzard, whatever that really means. So you can see here that this was a case of an unfortunate post that happened because somebody just wasn't really thinking about what they were doing or paying close attention. Maybe they'd already had a few too many. And I should also say, actually, going back to this one just briefly, this was another instance where actually it came off okay. The American Red Cross, sort of showed a sense of humor about it and made a joke about it. getting solicited became a really popular hashtag after this. And I'm almost certain the employee was not fired or anything like that. So they actually really ended up playing it off well and sort of understanding, this sort of thing happens. So this was not a story that ended up poorly. Unlike this story, which was the Kenneth Cole tweet, millions are in uproar in Cairo. This is, of course, during the Egyptian Revolution. Rumor is they heard about our new spring collection is now available online. So here's Kenneth Cole really making light of everything that was going on in Egypt, and talking about how the people of Cairo were actually in this big uprising because of the new fashions available from Kenneth Cole. Kenneth Cole got hammered for this one. Nobody thought this was funny or appropriate. And Kenneth Cole did not respond super well either. Their response was sort of more indignation than, apology and that sort of thing. So not a good move here when there's something that's serious going on in the world. Sort of making light of that situation. Again, like being sort of for your own, self-promotion. Really not a good thing. Here are a couple of canned responses from Bally Total Fitness, and you can see it's a husband and wife who have both written in asking about being let out of a contract for a very good reason, and they respond with the exact same canned response. That is clearly the canned response that their customer service person has been trained to give for anybody who's talking about canceling their membership for any reason, and so. It really reflects poorly, I think, on Bally Total Fitness that this sort of thing would happen, and that there would be such an obviously canned response to, to some important concerns here. It is possible that there are canned responses that would work for some situations. If somebody were just posting, I would like to cancel. How do I do that? Then maybe their canned response would be good. But clearly, this is a person who's responding and really not even thinking about what the original request was saying or what it was about, and not thinking about what a personal response to that might look like. Really very much took the social out of social media and just made it something much more impersonal. And then missing the facts. This was one that we got a chuckle about here at the Pivot office. Regardless of what you think about the Supreme Court and its ruling on the Affordable Care Act, and I recognize that there are all kinds of opinions out there, both pro and con about that. We did get a chuckle about the fact that, and this was an article that came out where it was a whole collection of tweets about people saying that because the Supreme Court had upheld the Affordable Care Act, they were going to move to Canada, where in fact Canada already has universal health care. So these people probably, I'm assuming, did not realize that. So this is just an issue of not quite getting your facts straight, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to say you're going to move to a country that has universal health care because you oppose the laws being made by healthcare in your country. So anyway, that's some posts about having to do with this idea of missing the facts. So let's talk about some takeaways regarding all of this. It's really easy to sit back and kind of laugh at these posts and say, wow, what were they thinking? How could a company ever let something like that happen? But it's more helpful, I think, to actually realize that this does bring up some issues around some additional best practices. I've talked about some do's and don'ts of social media in the past, but there are some that specifically come to the forefront because of some of these different posts, and really because you can see there are many different ways to post things that end up being bad posts. It's not like there's just one way to go wrong. Unfortunately, with social media, there are many ways to go wrong. So let me talk about a few best practices. And before I do that, let me mention, as I forgot to do, and seems like I always forget to do at the start of these webinars. If you do have any questions, by all means, go ahead and put those into the GoToWebinar control panel, and I'd be happy to talk about those at the end. So first of all, defensiveness is not a good social media posture. Like I said, with Kenneth Cole, after the tweet that they put out about the Egyptian revolution, with the Nestle Facebook status updates that were being put out, trying to control the conversation, it is not ever a good thing when a company gets defensive, visibly defensive on social media. This is why I always say that when it comes to customer feedback, even negative customer feedback on your Facebook page, you should try as quickly as possible to get that conversation happening over email, over the phone, rather than having a protracted argument with a customer on your Facebook page. You don't ever want to be seen to be acting defensively or to be trying to control what people say, and you don't want to be seen, you know, having sort of a he said, she said with somebody over your Facebook page. So just remember that defensiveness is not a good social media posture. It's really a place for being open and really trying to hear and listen to people, even when they're saying difficult things. Number two, give employees tips on not mixing their social selves. And what I mean by that, I'm thinking here about the Red Cross tweet about getting slizzard, and you know, about how that employee didn't realize that she was logged in as the Red Cross. So give your employees some tips around that, and there could be a few different ways of doing that. You know, you could make sure that your employees just have a policy that your employees should only update the company Facebook page from the company computer. Instead of, or the company Twitter feed only from the company computer, instead of having it available and accessible on their mobile phone. That might be one way of handling it, so that when they're out with their friends and updating a status on a mobile phone, they don't accidentally update in the wrong place. It could be that, you know, for your company, for your employee who is maintaining your social media page, you know, maybe you require them or ask them strongly to not log into their personal Facebook when they are on that company computer where they're going to update their company page. That way you just get in, you know, you don't ever get into the problem of somebody accidentally being logged in one way and not the other. And let them know about tools like the new one that Facebook has introduced that tells you who you're commenting and posting as, so that there's no sort of mistaking when any of that happens. So just help employees with that so that that kind of thing doesn't happen. Number three, business and social issues don't mix, unless we're talking about pure philanthropy. So this is in the case of the Japanese, the tsunami that happened off the coast of Japan, and also the uprising in Egypt. You know, never ever, not even if you think you're being creative, should you try to promote your company in light of something that has happened, something serious that's happened elsewhere in the world. That's just not going to be a good mixture. It's not going to come off well for you. The only thing that it's going to, you know, do is make you look like you're entirely self-serving and uncaring, and that's not a posture that any company wants to put forward. So, you know, I think it's fine and even good if your company is, if a natural disaster happens or something like that, and your company gives a big you know, donation to the Red Cross or something in light of it or something like that, I think it's fine to tell people that you've done that and to encourage people to do the same. What it's not fine to do is to, you know, sort of promote your company's new product, you know, as you're doing that, or tell people that they can donate if they, you know, purchase their product or something like that. That's something that's not, you know, that's not going to fly from a public relations standpoint. Number four, social media is prone to false facts, so don't be part of that problem. There is a lot of misinformation out there on social media. That's why a website like Snopes.com exists, is to debunk false information that's out there. So don't, make sure that you are checking your facts before you post, that you're not putting out any information that is untrue or is merely suspicion. It's not going to benefit you at all. At the worst, it's going to make you look, or at the best, I would say, it's going to make you look uninformed, and at the worst, it's going to make you look like you have some kind of devious intention. So just make sure that you are checking your facts when it comes to social media and your posts. Every person deserves a unique response, number 5. And here, of course, I'm thinking about the Bally Total Fitness response and the sort of canned responses that they were using to somebody bringing up an important issue. Even if it's difficult, even if you have a lot of comments to deal with, every person really truly deserves a unique response. You wouldn't, if somebody comes into your store or your shop, you wouldn't say the exact same thing to somebody in person as you would to another person. So don't do that over social media. You can have a formula, you can have guidelines and rules for how people should respond, but make sure that those responses are unique. Otherwise, you really have kind of missed the point of social media and how companies should be engaging to build relationships with their customers online. Number 6, if need be, have a corporate count to 10 policy. I know that it can be tempting when you see some negative feedback or something like that to want to post something back quickly and that's to the point and that maybe even gets a little of your own point across and maybe shares a little bit of your own mind with somebody. And that's when it's a really good idea to have a corporate count to 10 policy. And if you don't know what I mean by the count to 10 policy, what I mean is, when you think about what you want to respond and you're responding maybe in anger or frustration, you count to 10 slowly. And that helps you calm down and realize, what, that response is not going to be the best response for my company. It's not going to be the best to give to this customer or to any other customers who are seeing the response. And so I need to respond in a more careful way. This is also a great rule, and actually I just recently spoke to a company. I spoke to a gathering of their employees to talk about sort of how you comport yourself when it comes to social media. And it's a great rule to have personally for social media as well. Just to think about counting to 10 before you respond and say something that you're going to regret either personally or if you're posting for your company page as well. Number 7, don't delete a post and assume that that's going to make it all okay and make the problem disappear. This is not so much on what not to post as to what to do with posts that you receive that might be negative. First of all, I would take great care in deleting posts at all because when you delete a post, what you're essentially doing is you're telling someone, I'm cutting off your ability to speak freely here on my company page. And when you do that, you're really sending a strong message. And so, I would only do it for people who are spamming and maybe in extreme cases where somebody is constantly being on your page, using lots of profanity, that sort of thing. Only then would I consider deleting somebody. If somebody has shared a rant with you or has complained about some of your business practices, again thinking about Nestle here, to delete that and not address it just shows that your company is trying to hide from something, is trying to control the conversation, and it's going to only cause you more problems ultimately because people do expect to have a voice when it comes to social media. So don't just delete something and assume that is going to make everything all better about somebody's negative comment. And then the last takeaway here is take your missteps in stride. If something does happen, if a post goes wrong, either because somebody on their last day of work posted something inappropriate, or somebody accidentally posted something that wasn't true, or somebody was accidentally logged into the wrong account and posted something personal. Take them in stride. It is okay, and this is one thing wise companies, I think, one thing wise companies are learning when it comes to social media is it's okay to kind of laugh at yourself and admit that everyone is making mistakes, and to play that off. If it's something more serious, if it's something like the Bing or the Kenneth Cole thing where they thought that they could sort of promote themselves by using a social disaster that had happened, that would be something where you do need to stand up and apologize and give a more serious response. But still, that's far better than ignoring the problem or just pretending it didn't happen or being defensive or something like that. Just try to take those missteps when they do happen, because they might. Take them in stride. So that's what I have today. I do see that there are a couple of questions. It looks like one of them I've answered. If there is a problem, is it better to delete it and pretend it never happened, or leave the offending post and explain it? So again, I think I did answer that one. But regarding the second part of that question, yes, I do think you leave the post there and explain it and talk about what happened. Maybe I take that back. Maybe you delete your own bad post. You don't delete other people's posts. Maybe you delete your own bad post, but then apologize for it and recognize that it happened. And remember that the internet is forever, and probably somebody took a screenshot of that post, and it's still going to be there somewhere in somebody's memory. I mean, I think in both the case of the Kenneth Cole tweet and the Bing tweet, I think both of those were, and the American Red Cross tweet, I think all of those were eventually deleted, but the companies did better and worse jobs of explaining them. Another question around Facebook, is it okay to create a fake persona to manage our page, just so there's no fear of an individual's profile getting confused with the company's profile? It is okay to do that, and I have worked with companies who do that for various reasons. One reason to do it is that if you have 3 or 4 people managing your Facebook page and you want notification emails about what people post or respond to your posts, if you want those notification emails to go to all of those people, what they'll do is they'll set up an email address like info@askpivot.com, and they'll set up a fake Facebook profile with that address so that any notifications that Facebook sends to that address get pushed out to all those people, because info@askpivot.com is actually going to several people within the organization. So that is definitely something you can do. But just to make it clear, and this is always something that's important to know, nobody, by looking at your Facebook company page, can ever see who the administrator is behind it unless you've specifically chosen to highlight that person. So no one, by looking at, if you go to the Coke page or the Amazon.com page or any big page like that, you cannot tell who the administrators of that page are. So you don't really need to worry about getting them, about getting your own personal profile mixed up with your Facebook company page, unless you choose to announce that, who it is that's administering the page. Certainly for a company like Pivot, I don't mind saying that I'm, it's me who's administering the page. But for bigger companies, I can see why that would be more of a concern, that an individual would want to have their profile mixed up with the company's. So anyway, thank you for those questions. And a reminder, our next Straight Talk on social media will be 2 weeks from today. And we're going to do a Facebook page review. There are enough changes that have been made to the way that Facebook pages work that I do want to go back over that. I think it's an important topic to revisit from time to time because most of us are maintaining Facebook pages of one sort, and so it's good to keep up with the ways that Facebook has altered little things here and there. So we'll do that 2 weeks from today on the 20th. For our telecommunications clients, Dave Neustraten's next Straight Talk on Telco Marketing webinar, I believe, will be Wednesday the 25th at 11 o'clock Pacific time. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a wonderful couple of weeks. You can imagine me playing in the sun with my kids next week. Remember to have a great weekend. Keep your media social and your talk straight. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.